Shame, I was doing stats during the summer on people who have done the most goal scoring in the last number of years. I can't find it, obviously, because I'm an absolute clown. There it goes. The only thing is wrong is your age. You're 31 now, aren't you?
Well, we
But
can 30.
but 35 goals over the course of your championship career. Did you ever think it would get to that?
I didn't really, and to be honest, I kind of wasn't aware the numbers were going up. Like, you were kind of just trying to go out there and get a goal, so you might start the next day, like, that kind of a thing for a long time. So, yeah, look, they're good numbers at the moment. Look, I had a good year of it this year that kind of bolstered it up a bit. So, but I'm fully aware as well that doesn't happen every year. Like, and there could be a drought. So, look, we'll just enjoy while it lasts, I suppose.
Yeah, because like the previous couple of years, 17 and 18 there. So in 2017, I think you got 3 in one day. That was possibly against Dublin. Yeah. 2018, it didn't happen. Well, it didn't happen for Tip at all. Yeah. You had a lot of injuries, the back injury and all that kind of stuff. So how did you turn it around that quickly?
I think, I suppose in 2018, as you said, the back injury, and that was stopping me, I suppose, a bit. But as the year went on, I started to kind of get going well with the club and that. So it was kind of a case of, if we were in the championship for a bit longer, maybe the form would have came, and I suppose the sharpness would have came in front of goals as well. But thankfully, I suppose I started 2019. I started it off fairly decent and tried to build a bit of, I suppose, confidence as well, because when you're out for a period of time, it doesn't matter how much experience you have. Sometimes you can, I suppose, lose a bit of confidence in front of goals and that as well. So, look, it worked out great, so we're happy now.
At different stages of your career, would you put pressure on yourself that I need to get scores, whether it's points or goals, but would you have been like, I need to get these on the board for winning in the team?
Yeah, look, I suppose when you look back at the teams as well that we had, you were kind of always in competition with the likes of Lark Corbett and Owen Kelly, and these players, so they were getting the scores, so, you kind of had to chip in a little bit, to get your name in there, and probably would have put a bit of pressure on myself as well, so I suppose as the years go by and a bit of experience comes, you learn that there's a lot more about the game than just scoring as well, and whereas there is a bit of scoring done this year and that, but there's a lot of other aspects of my game that have developed as well, so I'd like to think my work rate was fairly high this year as well, along with that. So
it was strangely high. Yeah. We didn't see it coming.
Exactly,
I'm only joking. But yourself, with the likes of the back injuries, and you probably had a couple of injuries in the last few years, and you're 31 now. Is it a thing where you're starting to count the clock, or starting to think at this stage, geez, how many years do I have left?
Look, you're aware of it, because there's not too many players that go over the maybe 33 years of age in the intercounty scene anymore. But you kind of have to just judge it on your own body. And we all love playing sport and play at the highest level possible. And as long as I can do that, I'll be trying my best to do it. But your body will tell you, I suppose, when it's time to maybe start slowing down a bit or whatever. But for the moment, while I'm injury free, it's not on my mind. But I am also a bit aware that I'm 31. Let's try and win as much as we can while you're still playing.
So of that stat there, this year you scored 8-18. The last score you got was a free, because you weren't on the frees this year for, we won't go into that row. I'm only messing, there was no row there. But was it sweet there to stand over the last free into the hill, first free of the year, and you chose to, was that a nice moment for you?
Well, look, I suppose, I think maybe Jake was going to take it, and I was kind of no, hang on now. I just want to get, I just wanted to take it, I suppose, and it was an easy free, obviously, but just as well as that, the referee had said to me, look, it's the last buck of the game, and I was kind of going, yeah, look, what a nice way to finish off the game, and standing over that. So, no, look, and going back to the point, I suppose, Jason has been unbelievable on him as well, so, he was well deserving of his slot taking him this year, and it's just nice, I suppose, to finish off on one.
It's fairly much a dream year that you end up with, All-Star, All-Ireland winning captain, you win up, Hurler of the Year, a goal in every single game. It couldn't have actually gone any better, really.
Yeah, and I suppose it all looks good now and it reads well. But there's struggles in the middle of all that too, that people don't. Inter-county players will realise themselves that you go through some hard times through it as well. So it's our team that pulls you along, and your management that to refocus you. And it is we had a lot of good days, but Munster final in Limerick was a bad day. Lost to Dublin in the league quarter-final in Thurles, that was a bad day, and it was days like that. But the beauty of those days were we had another life, or in the Munster Championship we could go again. Whereas if things went smoothly and we could have been caught in an Ireland semi-final or whatever, so we got that little bit of a refocus in the middle of the year just to get back on track again.
What do you think's changed about Tip this year? It's such a vague question, I suppose, or a tough one to answer. Liam Sheedy is the obvious answer, but within that, what's changed?
Well, I just think there is like, look, it's Liam, and Liam. Everyone talks about Liam and what Liam brings, like, but I suppose he gave us a bit of confidence again. Like, it had been probably just on the back of 2 poor enough years after winning an All Ireland. No, 17 wasn't a poor year. We're just unlucky to be pipped in the semi-final, but I suppose there's a big expectation in Tipperary, and when you don't live up to that, it can have an effect too. But just came back in, and it just seemed, look, it was just fresh, and it seemed like Liam put a bit of confidence, I suppose, in the older players again as well. Where we might have been thinking, like, is our time up? There's a good under-21 team coming through, like, what's going to happen here? And a bit of confidence in that, and then the under-21 setup, as I said, came in after great success, and they drove it on as well. So I think it really came down to hard work and hard graft, and we went back early last year, and we kind of started as we wanted to go on, really, and set a high standard from the start. And
then obviously everyone's going to be expecting Tip to be unreal again this year, and this, or 2020, and this time Sheedy isn't leaving, so the expectancy will be huge again.
Yeah, it will be, but sure, there's going to be a bite back in a lot of teams as well, like, and obviously there's a load of people coming up to going, back to back, and they're just kind of going, can we not just enjoy this one first, like, and see what happens then, like, obviously a very difficult thing to do, and we haven't been able to do it, but I just think every team finds it difficult. Limerick had a team that everyone, I suppose, would have said were nearly unbeatable this year, and they couldn't do it as well. So it is a big challenge. And but look, I suppose we'll refocus on that. And as I said before in previous interviews, like, for the likes of myself and the lads are there this year, it'll be back to back, but there'll be a few fresh bodies coming in this year, and they'll be looking to do their first. So it's different thing. It's different for everyone, really. But look, we won't let it consume our minds too much. We'll just hurl away and try and prepare as best we can.
I'm going to ask you about Borris against St Thomas's in the All-Ireland semi-final. You played against Borris in the quarter-final in Tipperary over in Holy Cross Ballycastle. There was only 3 points in it, if I remember correctly. Yeah. What sort of team are Borris? I don't know how well you know St Thomas's. Maybe you've played them in challenges or whatever. But how do you see this game going?
Well, to be honest, now I wouldn't know much about St Thomas's, but I've been hugely impressed with Borris. I know an awful lot of them through. I went to school in Borris, and a lot of my friends have grown up along would be there, and obviously we hurled against them a good few times in recent years. But I think they have a really collective drive and just togetherness there this year, and they obviously have a lot of great hurlers as well, but you could just see their will to win was absolutely incredible against Ballygunner down there a couple of weeks ago in the Munster final, and just that at this stage of the year, that hunger, and you can see inspirational figures then, like your own brother Paddy and Brendan Maher, Dan McCormack, just to mention a few, Niall Kenny catching that last ball, these things when it's raw, it's heart on the line kind of stuff this time of year, and Borris seem to have that in abundance, and they'll take a lot of stopping.
St Thomas's, of course, have game breakers with Davy Burke and Conor Cooney, just to name just a few. So, and I'm sure you've tried to do that many times with Tipperary, nail down Davy Burke, but he's just a wonderful player. You can't always do that. Yeah,
definitely. They have players that will hurt you, given the opportunity. But I suppose the one thing Borris have been good at as well has been targeting main players for other teams and nullifying their impact on games. And David Burke is a fantastic player. He's been driving that Galway team for years now, and Conor Cooney on his day can be devastating in front of goals. So they'll take a lot of watching, but I just think Borris are in a really good place, and there must be a huge. I suppose you might know it now. I've been trying to avoid the place, but there must be a huge buzz around, and I know from talking to Brendan and the lads there, they're kind of crest of a wave stuff now, and it's just. They're really enjoying it, so they're going to be formidable opponents for anyone now going forward. And
cheers, Jamie. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no bother.
Thanks.